So I was just kind of going back and forth with somebody, a comment online. So it's a sewer cap with the golden ratio spiral on it, which is associated with all of the bad stuff with, kids specifically. Now, the thing that's really, you got to stop and ask yourself, right? Why are they tying that specific symbol and other symbols to horrible shit? Because when it really comes down to it, the golden ratio is basically the design of almost everything in creation. It's everywhere. It's like the fingerprint of God. So the fact that that symbol is being associated with like horrible things with kids, it's it's so that when the average person or even an informed person who does know this secondary meaning, they automatically don't want anything to do with it. I mean, I have a really, in-depth understanding of the ratio and how important it is and how it's tied into everything. But they have created such a black cloud over the golden ratio spiral, which is like the fingerprint of God. They have inverted it, and it's crazy. So I make a comment about how this design, it represents Phi, the golden ratio spiral. This girl who seems like a very smart girl. Um, she's actually into frequency treatments. She says that the symbol was hijacked, and it's like that is exactly correct. Like they take it's like the swastika. The these are math equations. The Israel flag, the Star of David, is a math equation. I mean, every geometric shape is an equation and it's different angles or angels. It's just a play on words. But yeah, everything comes down to this natural pattern ratio in all things. And when it translates to like the formation of the United States, say, we have stars on our flag because the star, the arm of the star is 0.618, which is lowercase phi. And then from point to point is 1.618. It's the radius that's created. It's the distance and the proportions. So those two ratios, capital PHI, lowercase phi, give the star its shape. And where was the United States founded? The country was, created in Philadelphia, which has both of those PHIs, capital and lowercase, in the word Philadelphia. Even the state, when it's abbreviated PA, P is the 16th letter, A is the first. So you have 161. So in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, you literally have phi in that three times. When this ratio, basically this growth pattern, it has a point where it would basically meet, and then a triangle is created. This is shown in the sigil of Satan. It looks like a triangle with like two horns coming off the top. So what that is basically the golden ratio coming down and creating this triangular math, more natural patterns. And that is pretty much the system that we live in. We have a calendar which lays out on this triangle, as well as our alphabet. The triangle itself is 1/10 of a circle. So if you imagine a circle with like imagine it's like a pizza, right? Now we're right back to the whole terms they're using with horrible shit. Okay, we're talking about the spiral. Now I'm trying to explain to you triangular math off of the spiral, and I'm comparing it to pizza because that's actually the best way to explain it. Because everybody knows you cut a pizza up, usually it's in like 6, 8 slices. But in this case, you would have a slice of pizza that's 1/10 of the circle. And this triangle, you would imagine it is made of bricks. And it has 36 rows. So on the top, there's one brick. On the bottom, there's 36 bricks. So on each row, when you add up 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, however many bricks are in that row, you end up with a triangular number. So when you go to the bottom row, which is 36, it's the base of the pyramid, it's the bottom of the pyramid. When you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 all the way to 36, that would be called the 36 triangular number. And that number is 666 because this is the beast system. It is a literal triangle of math. And the thing that makes it satanic or the devil is when you have the knowledge of it and you actually invert it and use it against people that don't have an understanding of it. It's really not that hard, but most people cannot comprehend. It's pretty basic. It takes a long time to really grasp all of it, but you have an alphabet, you have a counting system, 1 to 10. You have a calendar with 360 days or 365 or 6 days. But on this, circle, you would have 360. So the 36 rows is 1/10 of a circle. And yeah, it's off by a little bit, but you would basically put those 5 or 6 days evenly on a year, and you basically end up with the same quarters. It's slightly different, but so what happens is you have this triangle where it has this gradual progression of math, and at the 17th position, 1 to 17, when you add them all together, it's 153. And then when you go to the 26th position, or Z would be our whole alphabet, it's 351. So 153 and 351 are mirrors of each other. It's a reflection point in our alphabet. It's like a little cheat code. It's like it's hidden in there. But the thing is, once you understand that there's this reflective nature and they use number patterns, you start to realize that during all of these major events, there's significance in the date it happens or its relevance from another event. So the 153 is biblical because there were 153 fish in the net. Now, if you take this triangle or pyramid with bricks and you invert it, you actually flip it. So now this triangle, when you flip it, it looks like a net. And net is just 10 backwards because we have base 10 counting. So the biblical fish in the net, it's literally talking about quantum, because it's kind of hard to explain, but if you looked at the 153, it's information of some kind. In this case, it's numbers, but it could literally be anything. It's tracking this pattern, and when it gets to 153, if you have an understanding of the pattern, it means that once you get to 153, you actually have all of the information that's contained in the flipped side of that mirror. So the 153 fish in the net, it's the knowledge of the 351. And the 351 is represented because the English brought their language to Massachusetts. And they symbolically use the 351 in Massachusetts because this state where I'm in has 351 cities and towns. And then because our alphabet, when you add 1 to 26, it equals 351. They incorporated the state on February 6th, 2-6. Now, what happens under this triangle of math that can be flipped, you have the 37th row under the 36. And this is basically like the breaking point in the math where now this upright triangle flips down. So it's the same shape. It goes from looking like an A upright, and then that math also looks like a V. Basically, the whole thing looks like a diamond, and in the center of it is the 37th row. And that is why our 3 and our 7 look like the letters E and L.